Hi there and welcome to another Funky Loops tutorial. Today we're going to look at doing mosaic crochet from the centre out. So if you have not already done mosaic crochet in rows, then I would suggest you maybe look at some of my other videos, or there are lots of videos online on how to do mosaic crochet in rows. Doing it in the round is in some ways easier because you don't have all the ends to deal with, but there's just a few little tricky bits involving the corners, but if you're an experienced crochet, it's not difficult at all. So let's have a look at the chart first of all. The chart you will normally have is a triangle because you will usually be making a square or a rectangle, so the four sides are usually the same. If it's a square, it'll be the same. Sometimes it might be different if it's a rectangle or if it is a picture, but most patterns tend to just be replicating the same thing and it makes a sort of symmetrical design all the way around. So that's what we're going to look at today. If you are used to following charts in mosaic crochet, you will know that we look at the X's. The X's are what tell us which stitch to do coming forward. So if we are in UK, then we would be using the X to be doing our treble stitches, which come down in front. For the US, that would be your double crochet stitches. And if it doesn't have an X in it, then it is a regular double crochet for UK, single crochet for US. So that's exactly the same as it would be in mosaic crochet in rows. The difference that we have here is that we have corners to deal with. So these are the ones that are highlighted up here. You can see the rows, you can see the corners. There are two types of corner. There is a C corner, which is your plain, simple double crochet or single crochet corner, and then we have the C with the X, which is one of our forward corners. It's like the trebles that come in front or the doubles for the US that come in front. So that one is slightly different. So that's really the main differences between mosaic crochet in rows and mosaic crochet in the round, is just that we have the corners to deal with, but we also don't have the ends. However, we do have to have a way of joining them at the ends. I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can do that. So to start with, I have completed a circle with my treble crochets in it. That's your double crochets for US. I'm assuming you know how to do that. You would either start with a ring of chains and join it together, or you could start with a magic ring, whatever way you like to do best. And there are 16 stitches that have been put into here. And on the chart, that's what's represented by this block here. So we're ready. I have slipped into my original chain 3 as my first stitch. So I'm just going to finish that off. So I have completed my circle. So we're on to row 1 of the chart. Row 1, the first stitch that we do is a corner stitch. Now we're going to change colours because, as we know, we're doing mosaic crochet and every row you change colour, but I'm not going to break off my yarn because the good thing about working centre round is that you come all the way around and back to the start again. So we're just really carrying the yarn up the back. We're not having to swap and change it every time. So I'm just going to loop that through. This is not the way I would change as we go forward, but this is just for the first one. We're going to just do that. So to do our first corner, remembering that we're always working in the back loops. So a regular corner is a double crochet, a chain and a double crochet in the back loop. So for US, that would be a single crochet, a chain and a single crochet. So I'm going to go into the back loop of the first one. And what I'm also doing is catching the back of that loose end of the yarn, which I can crochet over to keep that in. So I'll do my 1 double crochet, then a chain, and then a double crochet, all in the same space, and that is the back loop of that stitch. So that's my corner. Then we go across and we see we've got 1, 2, 3 stitches. There are no X's in there, so that's 3 what I would call back stitches, because it's 3 back loop double crochets. So we're just going to do 1, 2, 3. and then we're back to our corner. Now it will show you on the chart the next corner, but really you're doing this 4 times, so you're really kind of always going back to that way and starting again, but it just shows you that it is a corner that's there. So my next one is a corner, so 1 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 double crochet, then 3 double crochets, 3 back stitches, then back to a corner again, and as you can see, look, I'm just carrying that back yarn through. I'm crocheting over the top of it so that I don't have those ends to deal with. So my corner, double crochet, chain, double crochet, 3 back loops, 1, 2, 3, final corner, double crochet, chain, double crochet, and 3 to finish. Okay, so now we have to join back together, and we're going to be swapping colours. So there's a few things that you can do for this. The thing that we need to think about is that every row, starts with the corner stitch. So you need to get into the corner to be able to start. So we're wanting to work in the corner chain space. So at the moment we're here and we need to get into this chain space in this corner here. So there's a couple of things that you can do. You can either slip stitch, so I'll show you that on this one. So this is method 1, is just to slip stitch over until you get into that corner. And as I have pulled the 2 loops through on my corner stitch, I'm going to then just change colour. So I would just pull my one from the back and change colour and just pull that down tight. So I'm currently sitting in that chain space. So that's method 1. So I'm going to show you all the way around going to do that. So I'm just going to go back into that back loop stitch to do my corner. So again, if we look at row 2, it's still that C corner, so it's the same corner we've just done, and all the way along in row 2 there are no X's, so all the way along I'm still just going to do my double crochet or my US single crochet. So double crochet, chain, double crochet, 5 double crochet, singly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm into my corner, and remember it's to be done in that chain space from my last corner. And then 5 across. Then my corner in that back chain space. 5 across. And last corner in that space. Okay, and we're back to the start again. So I'm going to show you how to do method 2 of joining, which is the one that I would do most of the time. And this one was actually, I learned this from Biba Blanket, so shout out to her. She was the one who showed me how to do this one. This is the method I use most of the time. And this is a join, an invisible join from the back. So what we do is we take our hook out, we go to the back, we're going to insert under the 2 loops of the colour the first stitch, so the one that we're going to join into. So we've inserted from the back underneath, then we grab a hold of that loop and pull that through to the back. Okay, then we just secure that by making the loop. Then what we're going to do is pull that yarn to the side. We're going to take our new colour and pull it through. And then to secure that and to help pull our colour up further so we don't have to reach too far behind, we're going to cross over the old yarn and do another chain stitch at the back, and that's just to kind of move it along so that when we turn it back from front, can't see any of that, but I have moved it along so that I can reach into the corner that I'm going to get to. So I'm going to be doing row number 3 now. And when we look in row number 3, that corner is described as CX, and you can see that it takes up 2 spaces instead of the other ones which only take up 1. And that is because we're going to be working in 2 rows below. We need to create 2 stitches instead of just 1 stitch, because we've effectively, when you're doing in the round, obviously it gets bigger every round. So if we only did 1 stitch, we wouldn't be increasing, and then our stitches wouldn't work out. So we need to always do 2 stitches when we're doing our CX row. So we're ready to start. We're going to be working into this loop here. I'm going to pull it up a little bit so that you can see. It is what was the chain space of the previous row in that colour. So we do our yarn over into that space. Sometimes this first one is a wee bit tricky. Here we go. And then pull our yarn through. So we're going to do our regular treble crochet or UK double, US double, sorry. And now we're going to do that again. So we do 2 stitches, then we do our chain 1, and we do that again, another 2 stitches, all in that same corner space from the previous row. So as I said, whereas the ordinary corner that we did around these other ones is only 2 stitches with a chain in between, the CX, the corner with the X, is 4 stitches in total, 2, then a chain, and then a 2. So let's look at our pattern now. So we've just completed that. That takes up that extra double size. Then we have got 2 X's, then a blank space, then 2 X's, and then we're at the corner again. So we're going to look and see we've got 2 more X's, 2 more forward stitches. So this is where, again, it can just be a little bit tricky if you're not used to doing this in the corners, just to check where your stitch is. So if you just look, here is my corner 1. So my next space is here, my next space that I'm going to go into, the little line there. So I'm going to yarn over, go into that space, pull it through. So that's 1, and then another one. Then we have to do the regular one with no back loop stitch, so not coming forward. So I'm looking and checking, where am I coming to? Keep it folded up so you can see it's this one that I'm coming to next. So I'm in my back loop of my previous row, then 2 forward ones, and the next one will be my corner, which again we're coming into this loop, this space stitch from before. So yarn over into that space, and remember we've got to do a double, so we're going to do 2 stitches, then a chain space, then 2 stitches. And we'll repeat that again, so 2 of our X stitches, our forward stitches, 1 back loop, then 2 forwards stitches, and then we're back to the corner again. So again, that little space, that little loop, and it's always double, getting our yarn in a tangle. Chain and another 2. Okay, and then ready to continue the row. And as you can see, as you're working round, you can see that you're completing this pattern. You can see that hole that's created in there. So you can see that replicated there. That's our space that's left, and you can see that there. So we're making that. Okay, I'll complete this row and join you at the end. Okay, so I've completed that round. You can see my 4 holes that are there and the corners. So we're ready to join it again, and I just want to go over that join from the back again, just so that you can see it when it's on the larger stitches, but it's just the same process. So make your hoop a little bit bigger just so it's easier to get hold of. Turn to the back, bring your yarn to the back, so it's now to the forwards in front of you. You are then going to insert your hook under the 2 loops of that previous stitch. Get hold of your loop, bring it through, pull that tight. We're going to secure it by bringing it through. We're going to change to our colour, and we're just going to wrap that over and secure that. You don't have to do that part, but it just brings the colour up to the top of the stitch. It means it's coming further looser, I suppose, when you get to the back of the row, but none of this is really seen because it's now at the back. So again, we're ready. We'll just pull that down tight. Can't see any of those stitches. We're ready to start again in our corner, our back loop chain space. So here's our corner. You can see I've got the hole there where the space is, and it's this back loop up at the top. So we're going to go straight over there. If by any chance you feel as if you're having to stretch too much with your yarn, you can always just do another chain stitch, because I said at the back you aren't going to see that. So we insert into that back loop. And we're ready to start. Let's just look at what we're doing. We're in row 4, so we're back to C corner. So we're going to be doing your 1 double crochet, chain, 1 double crochet, that would be US 1 single crochet, chain, single crochet. Then looking all the way along here, we have no X's in this row, so we're going to be doing all just our double crochet into the back loops. That's our single crochet into the back loops. So I'm going to complete this round, and then I'm going to come back and show you a third method that you could use to join. Okay, so I've just about finished that round. I just wanted to show you that sometimes, so when you have done the join that I've just shown you, that invisible join at the back, I've got 1 more single crochet, or sorry, double crochet UK to do. Sometimes when you get to that, you just have to kind of check where you are looking, because you're coming in front of that slightly. So sometimes you can even fold that back so you can see there's where my last stitch is. So that's us, and I'm ready to join again. Now when we'll go into our next row, we're coming to another one of these double corners. So I'm going to show you a different way of joining them again. Just it's up to you. There's the three different methods, and sometimes I go between depending on what I'm doing and what I'm looking to achieve. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do an ordinary, just slip, join in that back loop there, and then I'm going to just change to this new colour just by pulling that through the loop. And I'm going to be doing my corner, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the first stitch, and when I come back the way round I will complete that stitch last so that it's right next to it. So this is meant to be a double corner, an X corner, so I should be doing 2 trebles, a chain, 2 trebles in that space, but what I'm going to do is only do 1 treble. So I'm going to get into that space and just do 1. Then I'm going to do my chain, and then I'm going to do my 2. Okay, so this corner is not complete. I need to do 1 more treble in there. So what I'm going to do is go all the way round and come back, and instead of finishing down here and then joining up there, I'm going to come and do 1 more treble in here to join on. So I'll go around the rest and come back and just show you. Okay, so I've gone almost all the way down there. I have got 1 more stitch, so that would be this last stitch here before the corner. So I'm going to go into that last one. And then remember, I still have 1 more to do in that space that we left. So I'm going to do 1 more into that. And that means that I'm joined right next to where I'm going to be. So I'm going to be starting my next colour right here next to where I'm going to be. So I'm able to then just slip stitch into the back loop there, and I'm ready. Then I can just slip my new corner, my new colour on, and get ready to start in the back loop of that corner, and I'll be able to continue. So that was obviously just a quick look at doing mosaic in the round. It's actually probably my preferred method because then I don't have all the ends to deal with. You will have, because I've shown you the mixture, it's not been consistent all the way around, but if you were joining up, you get a kind of line up one corner where the joins are. Of course, if you don't want to do any of that, you could just cut each time and crochet over them so that there's nothing to be seen. But the 3 methods then would be that you either slip stitch into the back loops to get to the corner, you join from the back and chain to get into the corner, or on one of the double crochet rows you can start off with your 1 treble, then your space, 2 trebles all the way around, and complete your last treble so that you're in the right place for your next colour. Let me know if you have any problems, and I will always love to see your work posted on the Funky Loops Crochet community page, and it would be great to see what you manage. Thank you.